In the gospel this week, we have the exact center point of Luke's gospel. So Luke's gospel's the center verse is Luke 9, verse 51. And in that verse, Jesus turns resolutely to Jerusalem. Right? He turns his attention to face the new city of Jerusalem. He turns and he begins to walk to Jerusalem, which at the end of this journey, he enters Jerusalem for the last time on Palm Sunday. But this turn also takes with it this famous line that Jesus speaks. Foxes have dens, and birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to rest his head. And he says this in response to a disciple saying, I'll follow you wherever you go. And so you have these two key elements. You have one is this turn, this beginning to face not the world, but to beginning to face his cross, right? To face what he's been called and asked by his Father to do. He turns from his generic preaching of the gospel, the announcing of the good news, the miracles, and the teaching. And turns from the world to face Calvary, to face Jerusalem, to face his purpose and his mission. And in this response to I'll follow you wherever you may go, to say that all of the things that God has created have places to rest. Foxes have dens, birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to rest his head. He's saying with that comes persecution, right? With turning towards his mission now comes this rejection, that there is no longer a homeland. And the other part of Luke's gospel is to remember that Luke is writing as an instruction manual for discipleship. Luke is writing to the followers of Christ. This is how you become a follower of Christ. This is what you are to do to be a disciple, a follower. And so there's two things. One is at some point in your life, you have to turn from all the distractions, even if they're good actions. You have to turn from life in this world to face the purpose that you were created for, which is union with God. But then turning to that purpose also oftentimes brings with it pain, rejection, surrender, and sacrifice. To turn and face the cross is to fulfill everything that God had ordained his Son, his co-eternal person of the Trinity. It's everything that he was created to, it was everything that he came to earth to do. And so in becoming a disciple of Christ, we have to turn to face everything that we are called to do. We have to turn to face heaven. And to do so boldly and with strength and ardor. To not be distracted by the things that we have to give up. To not be distracted when there are persecutions or sufferings or rejections that come about. But to turn and to pursue Christ, even if that means pain. Even if that means suffering. Right? By turning to the cross, Christ acknowledges that he's about to destroy death so as to give new life. The walk of faith is the same. Sometimes I have to die to myself, that God can give me life more abundantly than anything I could ever imagine.